Yo, 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 what is up? What is up? What is up? Welcome back to the third intermission. Two-person show tonight. Avery here, currently in Toronto for the World Cup, doing some footy coverage. And I'm here with the one, the only, Troy Piper Bowen. What's going on, Troy?
Not too much, Avery. How you doing tonight? Just chilling on this kind of chilly Sunday evening. But I mean, the rain that we had earlier today, it was needed. We needed to break that heat a little bit.
Yeah, that was some
But
strong rain, man.
yeah, it was weird because like on my way home from work, like in the area I live in Jane and Wilson, I don't know if any of our listeners are from or live in this area, but like three different parts I had crossed to come home, and it was either raining really hard, drizzling, or not at all. Like when I left work, where I was specifically, it was raining. When I got behind the mall, it was drizzling. When I got home, it wasn't. When I left work and looked across the streets, it wasn't raining at all. Like you know those weather patterns where it's like you can cross the street and it's raining on one side and not raining on the other. That's kind of
Mhm.
basically what today was like for me when I left work.
Yeah, that's the one thing about weather in Canada. It can be raining one area, not raining one area, or it can rain hard for a few minutes and be sunny again. But today, not. It was just for a good 4 or 5 hours, just hard rain today. So, yeah.
Yeah. How are you enjoying your time in Toronto so far? How is the footy stuff going?
Oh man, let me tell you something, Troy. Covering a World Cup game, I covered the Canada Bosnia game. I'll be at Ghana Panama as well. That kind of ballsy atmosphere, walking in and seeing BMO full and seeing it hit the World Cup was in this country, amazing, amazing. And when Kyle Larkin scored that equalizer, if there was a roof on BMO, it would have blown off Troy.
It seems like it. I haven't. I'm not totally into soccer, so I'm not really following a lot of this.
Mhm.
But I did see more than a few people say that that Canada had their chances, but they just missed on a lot of them. And then I just happened to see a couple of those chances scroll through my timeline, and all I can think of is like Roberto Baggio for Italy when he had those free kicks and just airmailed all of them.
Yeah, that game that could have easily been a 3-1 Canada win because they had so many chances in tight where shots went wide, shots off the crossbar and didn't go in. Like they could have won that game 3-1.
Yeah, but you know, it's it's a learning experience. They just gotta, you know, go forward.
Yeah,
Don't bother looking back. You just gotta. I mean, well, you can look back because obviously you're gonna want to look at the video and see what you can do better. But I mean, from like from a mindset standpoint, yes, you definitely don't want to keep dwelling on what happened in the past. You just want to grab those experiences, learn from it, move on, keep your fingers crossed, and hope you do better. And regardless of what happens, the men's Canadian team, you're doing us proud no matter what happens. So we're glad to see you win it. Now, let's see you do something with it.
yep. And now they're playing next up. They're playing on Thursday, Qatar, and then they end the group stage against Switzerland. So if they can beat Qatar, they'll be in a really good spot to move on to the round of 32, Troy. So that's a big thing. And Canada's never qualified for the raw knockout round, and Canada's never won a match in the World Cup. So if they can do both, that will be a win.
Yeah. Like I said, they'll do us proud regardless of what happens. And hey, giving us getting to advance to the next round, it'd be huge for the country. And if you get there, like anything can happen. But you just
Absolutely.
gotta stay focused. Just stay focused. Um, focus on the little things, but not too long though. And then
No,
let the cards fall where they may.
no,
I
exactly.
believe in Canada.
No, a lot of people do now. A lot of people do after seeing how that game ended. And going from the World Cup chat to what's going on right now. The Stanley Cup Final. The At the time of this taping, the Hurricanes lead Game 6, 1-0. Taylor Hall with the first goal of the game, Game 6, back in Vegas. And this Carolina Hurricanes team, again, has found ways. They have been able to push Vegas. They've gotten the Carter Hart. This is a team that's had consistency. Guys like Shane Bear, Taylor Hall, Logan Stankoven, and Brandon Bussey. Bussey has come in relief for Frederick Anderson and played phenomenal in this series. If Carolina can hang on, there's more few options for the Conn Smythe out of Carolina in my mind, Troy.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of thinking that needs to be done based on whomever picks the winner for this kind of thing. I remember, I think like it was either last week or the week before, where I was just like, there's absolutely no way that room has to run the bot out. So I feel like somewhere in there in those couple of days, in those few days, they they got the message. They got the message because now they're one win away from hoisting the cup for the second time. Um, and and like I said, when I first mentioned the idea of him losing the room, I had also said that I think something was lost in translation. Um, and I feel like they they probably went back, looked at it, and was like, oh, okay, this is what he meant. And now Carolina's in a position to lift Lord Stanley. Um, I think in regards to the Conn Smythe, yes, they absolutely the voters have a handful of people to pick from. You got guys like Taylor Hall, um, Jordan Stahl, Gostisbehere, like you said, like these are all like veterans now, but these guys are turning back the clock. And then you've got younger guys like Stankoven, Bussy coming in, you know, turning up. Let's not discount Jacob Slavin.
Yeah,
Like he might not have a ton of points, but this dude's unreal. Like he's a stud defenseman for sure. Like I saw like the from at the time of this recording when Carolina went up 1-0. Like this man snuffed out a Vegas drive and sent Taylor Hall down the ice in behind the defense to set up that 1-0 goal. So I mean, like he's in consideration too. Um, yeah, like it's fun to watch. It's fun to see guys just out there having fun. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention Seth Jarvis.
yep.
Like uh, again, a lot of people look at guys who are producing points, the guys who are driving this team. You know, sometimes the your best player doesn't put any points on the board. You know what I mean? Like you can play a strong ass game and not get any points, but most people don't look at that. They look at stats, and they're just everything today is just driven by numbers as opposed to just looking at gameplay as well too. Like it, and I think Seth Jarvis has done a tremendous job of doing what he can to help his team, even though he's not producing like people expected. Um, if I had to pick somebody, I probably wouldn't. I would probably try to find to see if there's some kind of loophole where everybody can get it, because like how with the way that Carolina is running things right now, like how do you just say it's one guy? You can't.
I mean, it wouldn't. I mean, I'm sure there's a rule somewhere that would allow Conn Smythe winners, but yeah, they would never do that.
Yeah,
But no, but
no, they wouldn't.
yeah, no, but I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying though, Troy. It's been a complete team effort in Carolina, and we've seen that buy-in again into Rod Brindamore. And if the Hurricanes do win this cup, to me, Rod Brindamore is the GOAT Hurricane. He's the GOAT Hurricane for what he's done as a player and as a head coach. He's the GOAT Carolina Hurricane in my mind. If they do win.
Yes. Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah, like Rod Brindamore, even though he's mostly like, geez, like people forget he's played in Philadelphia because he's been a Hurricane for so long. Like inside and out, like when you think Carolina Hurricanes, like the first two names that you think of, like if you've been following the team since it moved from Hartford, the first two names you probably think of is Rod Brindamore and maybe Cam Ward. And these guys now they're etching their name in Carolina history. So there's going to be more household names, but yeah, Rod Brindamore is going to be a hard one to top for anybody.
no, exactly. And I thought it'd be tough. I thought it'd be tough, to ever top guys like an Eric Stahl or a Ron Francis. But I think Brindamore is going to top them at the end of the day.
Oh, for sure.
No, yeah, I definitely think Rod's gonna find a way to overcome them. And also moving on from the Cup Final and playoff talk. So, other news we learned recently around the league: Darnell Nurse has formally asked for a trade out of Edmonton. He has agreed it's time for a fresh start, and what it sounds like, it's a list among 3 to 5 teams. Preference Eastern Conference. Doesn't want to play in Canada. It doesn't want to play a Canadian team any further. So most likely an Eastern American franchise. There's been talk that the Flyers are interested in Darnell. So interesting to see where he ends up, Troy. Where do you see Darnell going if we do want to narrow things down to teams in the Eastern Conference in America?
Um, Geez. I mean, I can absolutely see the Edmonton Oilers messing this up. Like 100%. Because if they were even thinking about Mike Babcock, imagine where they're going to try to send him. Like there's no adult in the building, let alone in the room over there. Okay, like I I don't know what's happening. I feel like they're gonna mess this up tremendously. Um, I, however they manage to do it, whether it's a 2 team or a 3 team trade, and you got to throw in an unfortunate Oilers just to sweeten this deal. I feel like they're gonna flub this hardcore. Where does he end up? Um, I feel like he's gonna end up in LA. I mean, like, does he go to? They might not want to send him to a division rival,
Mhm.
but I feel like eventually he's gonna end up in LA. What and how teams try to move around it, I don't know. But in the East, if he goes East, hmm, maybe New York.
New York, Rangers, Islanders.
Yeah, yeah, maybe New York. I probably the Rangers, but again, Chris Drury too. Like he might screw that up too somehow.
No, you're
Yeah,
not wrong.
he's definitely one of those GMs where it's just like you got to be wary of what you're doing with him and how to pull the wool over his eyes because he doesn't seem to be that great at his job, but James Dolan seems to think he is, so that's why he's still employed and collects a check.
I mean, everything we've heard about the Rangers over the past year has been nothing but you know that guy who's trying to wash his car and he's carrying the hose and the bucket and it all spills and he falls down. That's Chris Drury as the GM.
Yeah, just nothing but slip ups.
Because everything we have that's come out or been said about how he's handled things, I mean, I've said it before on this show. Look at how he's handled or how this team handled the Keandre Miller trade. Keandre Miller is killing it right now in Carolina, and the Rangers say, you know what? Nah, we're done. They pulled the old Ned. They pulled like the Flanders family, Ned's parents. We thought of no ideas. We're all out of ideas. We thought we need help. Like they're Flanders parents with the no more ideas. We tried nothing. Like that is Chris Drury and the Rangers management when it came to Keandre Miller. That's what it was, Troy.
You say that you saying that just now. There's a specific Simpsons reference spot to that, um, with Ned Flanders of all the characters, um, with his mom and dad. So because it explains why Ned is so strict and everything, right? So his dad's a
Yes.
hippie, so is his mom. And I'm sure you know which scene I'm talking about. Where like I think one of
Mm-hmm.
them's a painter or a musician or something,
Yep.
and it just I guess Ned says something, and then they're just like, "Oh, we tried everything, man. Nothing works." And meanwhile, they didn't do anything.
It is just like that is that's what it feels about with how the Rangers horribly flubbed Kendra Miller, who is again proven to be a stud, a someone who is gonna have a 12 to 13 year career probably in Carolina as a guy who's become a fan favorite very quickly for the Hurricanes. So, but you mentioned Darnell to LA. That's the one team that's come out that probably is in that Darnell probably would go to in the Western Conference is Los Angeles. So when it comes to the East, I think hearing about Philadelphia or Philly in play in the rumors, again, we talked about it right there. If you're smart, I try to get Owen Tippett out of Philadelphia. That's guy target, Owen Tippett, to try and get him back for Darnell Nurse. But I don't know if the Flyers would go for that. I'm not sure if they would do that, but that would be my target, get Owen Tippett to the Western Conference for Darnell.
Yeah, I don't know if the Flyers would give him all in Tippett or not. I mean, they'd probably entertain it, but because Darnell's out of what, like nine, just over 9 mil. I don't know. I don't know if Philadelphia would be willing to take that uh, for Tippett. I mean, I feel like it's definitely got to be a team with with more than enough cap space and a team that he honestly feels could be like a legit cup contender.
Yeah.
Um, and plus to Philadelphia, they're expected to re-sign Dan Vladar to a multi-year deal too, so that's going to end up eating a lot of money.
Yeah.
So how much money are they truly going to have to hold Darnell if they're able to swing some kind of deal?
Yeah. No, you're entirely right. And I did want to say, of course, what are your thoughts from Darnell to the another player who had a trade demand? Now we don't formally know all the teams on Darnell's list, but we do know all the teams on the list of Dylan Larkin, who still has 5 years left, or sorry, 4 years left on his contract. No, 5 years on his contract. And Dylan Larkin goes to the Red Wings management and says, "Hi, Mr. Eisman, I want to trade. Okay, give us your list." And it's Florida, it's Minnesota, it's Vegas. Brother, I understand you have a level of power. I'm glad you have empowerment, but if I'm a GM, Troy, I am telling Dylan Larkin, dude, work with us. If none of these trades, if these teams can't help us out, you're going nowhere. Like that is just to me, it's so funny how this guy, like, I personally think if I was a league, and I'm never really pro league on anything, but if a player wants a trade and they have the no trade or no movement or no trade clause and they have some level of power, if I'm a team, Troy, I would say you want to be moved? Okay, give me a minimum of 6 or 7 markets you want to go to. No less than six. I think the 3 to 5 stuff is silly because if a team can't make a trade with those 3 teams, you're going nowhere.
Yeah, like only giving 3 teams. is dumb. Why limit yourself? If I'm Iserman, I'm talking to him and his agent, and I'm asking him, give me 10. Give me 10. Use your brain a little bit. Give me 10. I can't do nothing with three.
Yeah,
Like, and you pick, I mean, granted, they're all good teams, but it's
yeah,
like you pick the worst three teams that you could go to because you want to play with your little friends, where you're going to be like, and then you're going to complain when you're there because you're not 1A, you're not 1B, you're not
yeah,
1C. What? It, and if he doesn't want to give me seven more teams, Mr. Larkin, you can stay at home until you decide you want to give me those other seven. Then we'll talk. Like, this is so stupid with these no movement clauses, how they they're just like, I'll only give you three teams. Like, I with no trades, it's 10 teams you want to or 10 teams you don't want to based on how you've negotiated that in your contract.
yeah,
But like, to limit yourself in a no movement to teams with hardly any cap space is unbelievably stupid. If you guys want to play together that bad, go meet up at somebody's house, run the PlayStation, run the sticks, put some money down, play 2K. Nonsense.
it's
Like, you're trying to load up like it's the NBA. Come
yeah.
on, it's hockey. You know teams don't got money to do it like they do in the NBA. Be real. Come
Yeah,
on.
you're right, Troy. That's a great point because you're right. This isn't the NBA with a soft salary cap with ways to go over the cap and ways to expand things. That salary cap in hockey is hard like a brick wall. We all know you can't go one dime over that. We all know that.
No, you can't. Yeah, because like you got to be cap compliant on opening night. The
Yeah,
roster that you decide to put forth on game number one, if you are even a red U.S. penny, oh, I know they probably don't use the penny anymore, but for hypothetically speaking, if you are one red U.S. penny over, you got to go do the math and figure out who's got to sit.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, there are no aprons to avoid or get into. There are no bird rights. Like that doesn't exist in hockey. And so yeah, for Dylan Larkin to again say these are the three markets I want to go to, and you're right, Troy, where I know some guys don't mind being the second, third, or fourth option, but it's just funny how in hockey, how guys are just content. I mean, they want to play with their boys. They're content to go and be second or third banana or fifth banana just to play with their guys. Where other sports, they don't want to be the coach. They don't want to be the supporting cast guy. They want to be the guy, and I guess it shows the hockey culture mentality of how hockey players think compared to basketball, baseball. But it's also why, in a sense, why this league struggles with attention, with exposure, because a lot of guys don't want to be the man. They don't want to be the star in certain markets. They're content to be in the background. And some guys can do that, sure, but I wish more guys said no. I want to be the man. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Detroit's messed up a lot. Detroit's had a horrible run, but there are so many guys who don't want to be the man in hockey, Detroit. It annoys me.
I don't get it either. I mean, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? I mean, like, look at guys like who have been lifers for their teams. Crosby, Ovechkin, Malkin. Like, I mean, granted, Malkin and Crosby are on the same team,
Mhm.
but I mean, like, those are those kind of the type of dudes where it's just like, yeah, I want that. Give me that. McDavid. Matthews,
Yeah.
all these guys that are just like, give me that. Like, I'm sure maybe Matthews may want to leave, but like, just for saying, like, right now, like, guys who have been on their teams for so long, who haven't been moved via like a crappy trade or something out of their control.
Hmm.
But like you said, like I love those kind of dudes who embrace the challenge. Who are just like, I want to be that guy in this city where I got drafted or wherever I got traded to, if it's something that was out of their control. Like these guys, they just want to. Why are they scared?
It's
What they just want to play and collect a paycheck kind of thing. Like, do you know how many guys that are in the AHL who have been there for years
hmm
that are dying for a shot at the pros because they feel like they can be that guy who can make that difference. There are dudes that have been grinding there for double digit years. And you got guys in the pros that are just like, meh, whatever. No, man. that is a cancer to your team. Go on about your business. Let that AHL man have your spots. Let him show the people what's up. Why
it's
he's been grinding in the minor leagues, riding buses for 10 years.
and you know what's funny too, Troy, and you'll recall this, like guys who want to be the teaming up kind of guys or the I want to go here to win guys. That back in the day, that didn't happen until you were really aged. Like when the Leafs brought in guys like Joe Newendike, Phil Housley, Francis Leach. When LA brought in Larry Robinson, like it was the old guys who did that. It wasn't the guys under
Yeah.
35 who did that. Like,
Yeah. Those guys were just like, let's push all our chips in. Let's go. Yeah. Because, like you said, these are the older guys at the end of their career. They're just like, all right, one more run, see what we can do. And that was cool. And that was okay back then because these are guys that are already established who have like their own kind of stamps on records and place in the history books and what have you. Like these guys, those are the guys that were saying, preparing to say goodbye,
mhm.
so to speak. So that was cool. But nowadays, these young dudes, they probably are looking at the NBA as the example with these super teams. With guys trying to go here and to try to go there to see how many rings they can collect while doing the absolute minimum. And that's why, like in the NBA, a guy like Kobe never left.
Mhm.
Iverson never left. Like because those guys who they wanted to embrace that challenge, and especially because the two of them specifically played in such tough cities for ball,
Yeah.
they handled that pretty damn well for all that pressure that comes with playing in those cities.
No. Yeah. It is so true, and it's just funny how I mean, there are some dogs who stay in markets like we've seen before. Guys like Crosby, like guys like McDavid, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Guys who like that challenge, want that pressure. But there are still so many guys who I understand your preferences, but you really want to go to in certain market where I get you want your privacy, but don't you ever crave wondering what if I was on that team? I mean, yeah, yes, pressure comes. Yes, there's media exposure, but the idea of, but if I was an NHL player, I wouldn't want to play in a market where either I'm, you know, the fifth co-star on a roster. That'd be boring.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. I mean, like, who doesn't want that town folklore legend status? Like I get it if you know as an NHL player that like you're not going to be any of the first three options on your team, but and you just decide to change your game to be a role player game. Cool. But like if you know that you have the skills and talents to be that guy, go be that guy. Don't shy away from things. Just do what you did that got you where you were. Just because you're collecting money now doesn't give you an excuse or a reason to sit back and relax or not play as hard or, not try as hard. You're a pro. Show us why.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a weird one, and I guess we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens with Dylan Larkin. We'll see where he goes. We'll see where Darnell goes. Interesting times for NHLers going forward in the summer here. And before we wrap things up here on the show, the Toronto Marlies are up 2-0 in the Calder Cup Final, getting big wins on the road against the Chicago Wolves. And Troy posted on group chat how the broadcast in Chicago was going wild over Alexander Nylander penalty shot where he scored, and they're just giving it to officials on that goal there in game two.
Listen, like I get being a Homer broadcaster, but like at least know the rules, my guy. Like what? What do you? I mean, sure, on first glance, in real time, and whatever, what, and I guess because maybe they're there, maybe they're in Toronto looking at that, and depending on their angle too. Like they might say, "Oh, that's a BS call or whatever," but like if you're still admitting that it's a penalty, why couldn't it be a penalty shot? Because I mean, like what the guy did, it did affect the shot, and that's the criteria for a penalty shot. If you're in stride while you're trying to take the shot, and a defender affects that somehow without touching the puck, penalty shot.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right in that, Troy. And yeah, that was a full on crash out on the broadcast for Chicago, but that was hilarious. That was funny.
Yeah, that and like just I wonder how long they're gonna keep that up because like they are getting eaten alive in that comment and quote tweets because like what do you mean you're gonna complain that hard and don't even know the rule?
That's
Like make it make sense.
that's like that is the thing in which you know what, if I'm if I'm the Wolves, if I'm the Wolves head of broadcasting or head of communications, honestly, I'm telling, or if I'm Flow Hockey, I'm telling you, I understand the passion is there, I understand it, but tone it down just a little bit because that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh man. So, with that being said, game three, and game four, and game five, if necessary, will be held in Toronto. Game three on Tuesday, game four on Thursday. So there's a chance, hey, Leaf fans, Toronto hockey fans, there's a chance for you to see a championship in Toronto this summer if you want to go to game three and game four, or game five.
Yeah. Go support your Marlies. Go little Leafs go. I guess. Tempo's still doing strong. So if you're out and about in Toronto, if you can manage the traffic, go see them too. Go check out the women's game. Unfortunately they lost tonight, but they're still a great team to watch. So don't miss out.
No, exactly. They are. And Coca-Cola and that area, the area by Coca-Cola and by Exhibition, that is getting the most action it's had in years between the AHL, WNBA, and World Cup, Troy. It's wild.
Yeah. Well, city's seeing lots of action. So get out where you can. Support the support the people. Them come see us. We're not as bad as people think. you know,
No,
Things
exactly.
are expensive, but that's not our fault. That's the government. So if you see Doug Ford, box him one time for the rest of us.
Yeah, this guy. Oh my goodness. With that being said, we'll wrap things up here on third intermission. For Troy, I'm Avery. Thank you all for letting us grace the space in between your head top. And don't forget, drink your water.
Drink water and mind your business.
Like the man said, we are out of here. Deuces.
Deuces.